Yes.
Hi! Look at this!
It's lit. Everything lit?
Come on. Wow, Facebook
Facebook
like
lit.
It's live. Is IG live?
I sent it.
Amazing. We're getting all the technologies in order.
All the technologies are getting in order.
This is
Now we
live
just
now.
gotta turn on the camera.
This is on.
It's recording. Liddy.
Lit.
We here.
And we just got invited.
Wait.
Hey.
Why?
Hey.
Oh.
I got some drinks for you.
Yes.
I'm drinking a nutcracker that I made myself.
Volume down.
Ooh, what's that?
Volume down all the way.
It's tequila.
Come on, tequila.
Put the
With
volume and it's on them too.
orange, pineapple.
Boom. Now we good.
Tequila Mockingbird.
Tequila mockingbird.
Yeah, I'm fucking with it.
What you sipping on though?
I'm sipping on Somalis.
Yeah.
Somali.
It's a sister of Bailey's. Period. Okay, some Irish cream.
That is so funny.
Nothing too
I'm
crazy.
doing straight whiskey.
Bitch.
I'm out here trying to like grow some chest hair, grow my goatee back.
Go.
Yes.
That's what's
I miss
different.
it.
Yeah, that's different. I miss it too.
That's what's different.
Yeah.
And you add?
I got a little wine, a little
Like
white
Zinfandel.
Keep it
Yes. Keep it light. I love it. Yeah, all right. So we are waiting to get IG up and going. And then IG is up and going. It's lit.
Together, I'm sending it to people.
Yes,
Amazing.
send it to people.
It looks great on the
Yes,
screen.
send it to all your friends. Send it to all your friends.
All your friends. All right, while that's happening, we're gonna get the show started. All right.
Amazing.
Y'all let us know if it's good. So let's get into intros, folks. Let's
Yes.
do it.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Julissa, and welcome to a live recap with Ladies Who Bronche and the New York Dose. I'm your girl, Julissa.
What's good, everybody? This is Skittles.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Adaloso, just in case you didn't know. So,
And it's the conductor of the train, your boy DJ SJ614, and we in here.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yes, I love it. So, you folks, I want to get into who we are exactly. Who are you within your brand? Outside of your brand, what do you do? Skittles, let's start off with you.
Yes, my name is Skittles Ortiz. I am a content creator. I am an actor, singer, and a music educator. And with Ladies Who Brunch, I am the co-producer and I manage the social media.
Hey, come on.
But yeah. And I also have, Skittles Music TV.
Okay.
Maybe we don't know. What's the tea? Like,
So yeah, I create content for the internet. I do a lot of music. I do a lot of music comedy. I do a lot of comedy. I blog. I do makeup.
hey,
We just out here creating.
I love it.
Yes.
What about you? Who you?
yeah, who am I? So, Annalise, also known as Adaloso. But yes, I am a dancer outside of New York Dose and branding and all that. But in New York Dose, I'm co-founder and COO in charge of social media and marketing and everything else in between. The little thing in between.
Hey.
But we here.
Okay.
Yes. Well, like I said, I'm Julissa. I'm the creator of Ladies Who Bronche. Partner in crime to Mrs. Skittles Ortiz.
Yes.
And Skittles and I, in case y'all don't know, because we're getting old and not everybody remembers us from this anymore.
Come on
Skittles
now.
and I are the creators of Shit Spanish Girls Say, our YouTube hit that lives in Skittles Music TV. Go check it out. If you don't know it, get your history up.
Period.
Yes. And outside of the Ladies Who Bronche world, and supporting in Skittles Music TV, I'm a writer, right? So I write screen. I write plays primarily. I am a poet. I am also, I like to call myself a bit of an advocate for people I'm an advocate for several things. If you know my social media pages, you know I'm always going on rants.
Yes. Come on, Tuesday.
So you know, I am very vocal about my opinions of the world, but also outside of all of that completely, I'm a fucking businesswoman. Like hardcore businesswoman. I'm actually in the process of building something very exciting, and I cannot share too much yet. But in 2021, y'all are gonna read some announcements about me, and y'all gonna be like, how the fuck did that happen? I can tell you when we get there together, but it's gonna be really exciting.
Yes. I love it. And, what's up, everybody? As I said before, it is the conductor of the train, your boy DJ SJ614. Within the New York Dose, co-founder, CEO, you know, man behind the mirror and in front of the camera, you know, just rocking it out with Adelise, doing it all, and, you know, just really getting it going. Outside of the New York Dose, actor, content creator, playwright, the list goes on, the slashes continue. But, you know, here we are indeed. Getting back into Ladies Who Brunching, I just want to talk a little bit about how you guys began. Like, where did Ladies Who Brunching come from? What's the origin? What's the start?
Well, the start of Ladies Who Brunch is really me being in a moment in time where being a playwright was really frustrating, and redrafting and applying to fellowships, it just felt like a lot of barriers that were unnecessary to get the immediacy out of the opinions and thoughts that I wanted to share with the world. But I was also just thinking about that, how the same barriers that existed in that way come from a lot of institutional domination around what voices get to be heard and curating things. And I was like, well, what would happen if I got together with one of the funniest people I know, Skittles, right? And just put a mic on us and allowed us to have all these conversations that are renowned on like NPR and like, you know, all of these you know, other markets or other stations that are known for podcasting in a way that people respect. And I wanted to have people put respect on our community's name, right? And so I thought, you know, a lot of people do respect my thoughts and opinions around politics, but my opinion is no better or no more insightful than Skittles' opinion necessarily. And so we want to create a table where everybody can come be themselves. And what better way to do that than in the brunch table, because there's so many rules around the dinner table and the breakfast table, but at the brunch table, anything goes.
Yes.
And so that's how it came about, and I asked Skittles if he wanted to join in, and Skittles.
Yeah, I joined in on the ride, and we've been building this brand ever since, and it's been pretty fun to, honestly, like, it's been a pretty fun journey to, like, see it really grow and, like, really kind of build something that was really the origins of our friendship. Like, that's our friendship at the core of it, and I feel like that's really what people connect with. They love to see that we're, like, these two best friends that, like, are willing to have these, like, blatant, honest conversations with anybody and like, invite everybody to the party, and, like, everyone's welcome and everybody's in counts.
I love that. Adeloso, can you speak a little bit about the origins of the New York Dose?
Sure. Yeah, it's been a journey. We were originally another podcast called the Bodega Podcast. And that, you know, ended, and we decided, we were like, well, do we want to continue, or do we want to, like, just drop everything? And we were just like, nah, let's continue. So in a week, we rebranded, and the New York Dose was born. It was actually, we were trying to find out names. We knew that we had a lot of pride in our city, so we knew right away that we wanted to do something in that realm, because Bodega was in that too. But yeah, one of our friends told us that she felt like she was getting her dose of New York when she was listening to the old podcast, and that just clicked, and we were just like, playing with names, and then the New York Dose was born, and yeah, that's how it started. It was 3 of us, 2 Bruckner, another male, and me and D, and then now it's only me and D.
Yes. Here we are.
Damn.
With the whole team behind us.
And the whole team behind us.
You guys are well-oiled machine.
Exactly. We got Hassan on deck.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Amazing. So I want to move into the time of year that we are in right now. It's holiday season, y'all.
Yes.
Holiday season.
Yes.
So let's talk about ho. Okay. So we got Hanukkah, we got Christmas, we got Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever. So I want to know what holiday y'all celebrate and how exactly do you celebrate it? Let's start with you, Adelo. So you seem to have something on your mind.
Well, yo soy dominicana. But yeah, no, so we always, the 24th is definitely our Christmas. Yeah, I feel like a lot of Latinos didn't wait. But yeah, the 24th, and I feel like the biggest fondest memory is, of course, like opening up the gifts at 12. Like, that was it was such like an excitement because all my other friends that were non-Latino, they had to wait till the next day.
Right.
So I always felt like I had like
a little jump on the gifts.
And it was just super exciting. Like that's the biggest thing I can remember besides like the drinking and the dancing that we always do and singing karaoke. But the gifts, I feel like that's like one of the fondest because it's just like that excitement.
Yeah, I love that. Teresa, what about you?
Well, yeah, so same on the 24th. That's the day that my family celebrates. But
Christmas.
So Christmas, right? Christian Dominicans, right? So what's interesting is that because, Christmas used to be very much the kids running around waiting for midnight to come, the adults in the living room dancing to the Tito, in the Gran Combo, rest in peace, Rojas, rest in peace, Tito Rojas, like listening and dancing to that. At one point, there were so many like little cousins and siblings, and I was watching too much Disney Channel and fucking Nickelodeon, and I was like, no, I get to have something that feels white Christmassy. and so I started this thing where I called myself Janta Claus, and we would do Christmas shows every year for Christmas. So like, the singing,
Come on, Janta.
so it was Janta Claus, and I did it literally up until I was like 26 years old. I was the host every year.
Yes.
And that's when I moved out of my mother's house, and then when I moved out, I crowned my sister the head of the show.
Oh.
So now the younger generation owns it, they produce it, and it's this year. Check out my IG. So
Yeah.
It's a real show.
They had lighting.
Yes.
The lighting was not lost on me. They had a spotlight.
Yes, that was my father. All my father.
Come
I
on.
love it.
Everybody has their part. I love that. I absolutely love that. What about you, Skittles?
My family celebrates Christmas. I feel like the big holiday that Christmas Day. We didn't do Christmas Eve. I don't know why, but when I was younger, we used to be in church until midnight. Christmas Eve. Yes. I was, not only was I a church boy, it gets even better. My mother was the choir director. I was a choir boy. I was straight up oh happy day.
Go on.
Singers like stories.
Yeah. So my mother's whole thing was that I was singing before I learned how to talk.
Go off.
But yeah, so we used to go to church until midnight on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas Day, one of my aunts or uncles would host like Christmas breakfast, and we would all go in like our pajamas, and we would have bacon, eggs, mimosas, and then you spend the whole day with each other, giving each other gifts and shit, and then it turns into a dinner where we have the hamon, so that's usually how my family would spend it.
Wow, that's super cute. I love that. For me, I also celebrate Christmas. The way that it worked for me growing up was, so we did one gift on Christmas Eve, like the stocking stuffers and like one gift, and then the next day on actual Christmas, we would wait until like around like 11 a.m. noon, because like one of my aunts would always get back like late from work or whatever, from like working overnight. So we would wait for her to come back home, and then we would spend like maybe from like 11 to like 1 p.m. like opening up gifts, and then the whole rest of the day was just about like playing with whatever you got. Like you're trying on the clothes, you're playing the video game, the toys, like whatever. I would often just like go right across the street to RJ's house and brag about how I got more gifts.
You are so
I was such a shady
shady.
time. I'm like, yeah, what you got? And then he would be like 2 or 3 gifts. I'd be like, look at such a brat.
I could just see him like, fine.
But yeah, so that is what that was like for me. Do you guys have a specific fond holiday memory? I know Annalise, you said that yours was like just a collection of everything, but I'll still let you think about it. What about you, Skittles? Do you have like a specific?
A specific holiday memory?
Yeah.
Not really. I feel like, yeah, not really. I mean, I feel like one thing that I do though that is, I mentioned this with Julie on our holiday episode on Ladies Who Brunch. On Christmas Eve, my new like tradition as like a young adult that has developed since like college is on Christmas Eve I watch Rent and like bake cookies and like we'll do that with like my mother and my brother and shit. Like, we'll just like watch Rent. So like, and that has become like the tradition.
Love it, cute, Julissa.
Yeah, I think for me, one of my favorite Christmases was the first Christmas that all of my cousins and aunts from DR were able to be in New York City for the first time. I was like 17, 18 years old that year, and it was just a moment of progress because like the layers that it took from all the different phases of my family to get here is something that I've like witnessed and participated in my whole life. So it was the first time where I felt like, this is the American dream, like being able to be all together.
Love that. Annalise, do you have one?
I mean, they all melt in together because we really just mostly just chill, drink. Like, it's the same like us, like the kids in one room. And as we got older, too, I mean, everyone had their own family, so we had like separate things. But yeah, I mean, besides that, and you know, the bad memories of because you know, there's. If I want to keep it funky, like, you know, there's been, like, memories that I remember on holidays where it's always, like, an argument or something, and I'm just like,
wow, very turn up.
You know, because the liquor gets involved, and everyone, and then the shit starts coming out.
Hello, talk about
you know,
it.
But besides that, you know, for the most part, I just feel like it's just the drinking and the dancing.
Okay.
That's, like, really big. That's always fun for me.
I love that. Hey, I just want to take this moment to tell you folks out there that if you have a fond Christmas memory, please let us know about that. Also, let us know in the comments, let us know what holiday you celebrate and what's your fondest memory from that holiday. Let us know that, all right? Because we're going to bring it back around to you in a hot second. But for me, a fond memory that I have is when I was very young. I don't know, I must have been like maybe like 4, 5, or 6, and I remember that my aunt got me this like. So my favorite Disney movie is Aladdin, and my aunt got me this like Aladdin like it was like this toy thing that had all of the characters. It was like Aladdin, Jasmine, the monkey, and the parrot and shit. And it came in this thing or whatever, and both sides of my family were in one living room, and I just remember like my mom's parents and my dad's parents and like my aunts and like her brother and like my father's sister. Like it was just my entire immediate family in one room. And the only time that had ever happened before was when everybody discovered that I was allergic to penicillin and I was in the hospital. But besides that, yeah, I don't remember everybody being in the same room like that. So that memory still kind of like follows me like to this day. So I want to move forward and onward to Ladies Who Brunch. Can you pick out a little segment from your show for us so that we can just dive into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So today, during our holiday special, we did our Cheers to section. So we're going to switch it up, and we're actually going to do our WAP spot for you guys. Women aligning power. So let's talk about sex, whether it's a question that you're pondering or just something that you want to talk about in terms of your sexuality, sexual empowerment, and all that good stuff. Because come on, it's 2020, and we all know that our sex lives were affected in one way or another. Whether it's that you got more because you were at home with your significant other and you were really able to get it in, or whether you were barred from the world, you were not able to safely engage.
And you had to like just kind of explore the wild. It was like a jungle out here.
Yeah.
You know.
And we want to hear from y'all too, okay? Let us know.
So we're going to be talking about New Year, New Kink. What are you going into 2021 and are going to try and finesse for your sex life? Whether it be like something new that you want to try out or a new kind of mindset that you're going to approach with sex. Like, what are some things that y'all are going to try Ooh.
I haven't thought about this. I mean, it has been a little, slow.
Right. The factory hasn't been producing as
But
much.
it's been kind of been doing good for me, and I might continue the slowness in
Ooh, love
2021
that.
because yeah.
What about the slowness did you discover that made you feel like it's something that you want to be more conscious of and intentional?
Just like being more aware of like who I'm giving it to, and like is it worth it? Like really double thinking it.
Yeah.
Like, is it really, really, really like is it worth my energy to give right now? Because I think I was forgetting a little bit that sex is a energy exchange.
Yes.
And-
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, amazing.
Okay.
TJ.
All right. So, what is the kink that I want to try for the new year?
Yeah,
Or
like,
a new
what do you
mindset.
want to, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think a new mindset. What's a new thing around sex in your WAP, or even your WAB this year?
Yes. Go stream WAP. Go stream WAP available on
Yeah, go stream
IGTV.
WAP.
That
Shameless
part.
plug.
That part. All right. Let me be honest with y'all.
Yes.
So, damn, they leave the camera in there.
All of the BTS cameras, they got the sofa.
They said it's honesty hours. So, let me tell y'all something devastating, okay? So, let me tell y'all how this pandemic quarantine fucked me up. So, I've still been active. I slowed down before it, and then ironically, picked up heavier during it. However, something that has significantly fucked me up during this pandemic is that I noticed I'm practically a virgin again. Like, my pussy is tight. Tighter than it's ever
Girl.
been.
Girl.
It,
We should get butt plugs. I want to get butt
yes!
plugs.
Okay, so during Cyber Monday, I was tight as fuck because I was online. I was shopping online, and I crossed to this sex store, right? And they had mad dildos, butt plugs for the low.
Yo, and then they have the cute one with the little rhinestones at the end.
Yes,
It's like-
yes. And I didn't put anything in the car. I didn't get anything because I was too focused on the clothes and all the other shit. But if I could rewind time, oh my God, because I feel like I just need to practice on my no, but still,
Yeah.
now that I saw the price that it could have been,
Now you don't want
Yeah.
to.
now I'm scarred. I'm I gotta wait until next motherfucking Cyber Monday.
So this is the perfect segue into my New Year, New Kink, because I want to try to have a butt plug. I want to get a dildo. I've never had a sex toy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And we've been in pandemic and shit. We were supposed to go before the pandemic started,
Because I never
but
had one either.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to try to get a butt plug, maybe a dildo situation.
Can we explain what a butt plug is
Yes.
for the people who might
Yes.
not know what butt plugs are?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat is saying, get one with a fur tail.
I was thinking about the fur towel.
I want one with a rhinestone on the end.
With the cute little rhinestone.
Yeah.
For those who
It's
don't know,
basically-
what is it?
yeah, it's like a kind of like a peach shaped situation where you put in your butt and it's supposed to help
Open you up.
open you up.
Yeah. It's like anal training. A
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah. Whereas
You
a
just
dildo,
leave it in there?
Yeah.
you could. Yeah.
the whole
Some
day?
people just leave it in there for however long they want.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also very interesting because I've been talking to a lot of hetero men, with girlfriends and shit, who have been telling me that they've used butt plugs and shit before, and I'm like, I haven't even used a butt plug or a dildo, and I'm just I feel like I'm missing out on something. Also, I feel like I need to be training on my own because the other thing that I just don't put down my fucking cup of molly. Let me tell y'all something. Let me put this into the atmosphere. I'm sick of big dick niggas. Let me just put that out there. I'm over it. Y'all are cute. I don't want it.
Y'all
Don't
are
need it.
my thing is they're not cute. You got a big dick, and they have no consideration to the preparation that goes into
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all want to show up whenever you want,
Right.
Get in me, whatever. Bitch, I have to clean.
Thank you. And I can't eat. For the day. So,
Come on, you got to take into consideration the preparation.
Anal must be a special.
I know, that's too much.
I'm not about to go through fucking a fast to get.
yes,
some-
why not?
I'm not
literally call it the bottoms diet. Like, I have to go on the bottoms diet if I'm about to get something
or
like
it's
that.
like vegetables, stuff that's like easily digestible, so that when you have to clean out, it's like it all comes out quickly.
Yeah. So yeah, don't want any of you for my 2021. I'm just give me
Butt
anything.
friendly. Some butt friendly dick. We want butt friendly dick in 2021.
Give me 6 and below. 6 and below. 5 and below. 5 and below. Fuck out of here. 5 and below. 5 and below. I'm sick of y'all. And they be coming in the sneakiest packages. It be the shortest niggas.
The
5'5".
short skinny ones.
Fat John sticking out. Yep.
Sick of y'all. Sick of y'all. Fucking sick of it. So that's me. Period.
Wonderful.
What about y'all? I want to turn it around.
Yeah, well, I said my New Year, new kink is sex toys and whatnot.
I feel like, for me, I feel like I'm in Addie's space where I'm in a little bit of a pussy reset. Just because.
Come on, pussy reset.
And this is I don't know how this is gonna sound, but it's something that I'm processing, so bear with me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because I'm in a place where my life is about to change, I don't know that I want my sex life to stay at the level that it's been. I feel like
You need blue check niggas.
Yeah, I feel like I need a new level of dick. I want to know what that feels like. I feel like realistically, those I've had some incredible sex partners, and I've had some really shitty sex partners, right? So I know that the motherfucker's life is not what makes their sex, but like, once you've tasted the difference between like vegan cum and niggas who eat McDonald's cum,
Period.
even as somebody who's not vegan myself, like, but seeing somebody who has a specific intention and how that affects other things, I feel like I want to learn to practice that and have that power pussy that's like, damn, it might be vegan pussy, I don't know, maybe pescatarian pussy. Minus the fishy smell, But like I feel
that part.
No fishiness, but you know the omega-3s, that's right. But I feel like if I can be intentional around my sex, and if I can find somebody who's intentional around themselves, and as a byproduct, it changes the way in which the sex happens, then that's the kind of sex I'm interested in having, because I'm tired of raising little niggas. I'm tired of, really feeling like I have to accommodate myself in the moment to make it good enough for what it is, and settling for the situation for what it is. So I want to feel like what it's like to be wined and dined. I was watching Girlfriends.
Oh,
girl.
I told you was going to like that show.
This is your first time watching it?
Yeah, so I'm watching it
my
for the
God.
first time. And I think it's the perfect age for me to actually be watching it.
But isn't it
You
scary
give me
how
kind of
Girlfriends is...
Tony mixed with Lynn.
This is definitely a Joan for me.
Okay.
It's the Joan for me.
Tony and Lynn mixed.
It's the Joan for me.
Here's the reality. I think that watching the show has really put me in a posture of seeing how I've lived most of my life like a Joan, minus the 3-month bullshit. Nah, I'm a freak. Like, I'm not with this prudishness. I am prude. Right, but like I feel like I one step into my Tony childness, if that makes sense.
That's where I see
You see, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But not in the sense of like with the Lynn Hart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I feel like I need to leave the Joan and the oh my god, why am I forgetting the other girl's name?
Maya.
My Joan Maya hybrid, like this. We need to be tough and self-sacrificing. Nah, I feel like I'm entering a different vibration, and I need the dick to match the vibration that I'm entering. Because there's new levels of orgasms I haven't even reached yet, because I'm not in a vibrational place to receive that sort of orgasm. So that's what I'm trying to be about.
That's real. I love it.
Yes. Literally, the only thing I was going to say was, like, isn't it crazy how Girlfriends, like, after so many years of not being on the air, is still so relevant.
Super.
Absolutely.
And it's scary how, like, shit hasn't changed. Like, we are dead, like, about to be 30, and I'm sitting here like, why is this still a problem? Like, why is this still something that we're dealing with?
It's very tragic, to be honest. Is there a way that you guys close out this segment, or do I?
No,
that
that's
was-
the watch how we want to
that
get
was
from
the watch
folks
spot.
later when we circle back around how they want to change their sex in 2020.
Yeah, what's your New Year, new kink?
Please, and send that to us right now, because we're about to step into the New York Dose segment, which is the tip jar. And this is basically where we just hear feedback back from you folks, and we respond to it. So if our wonderful operators could just read any comments or questions that are going on. Come on, yes,
We got
yes.
the beautiful
Come
Daisy
on.
behind camera
Daisy
one.
behind camera one.
We got the beautiful Kyle behind camera two.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
So yeah, what they saying? What's the tea?
Yeah, what they saying?
What's up? What's up?
There's they're still talking about girlfriends, you know. Like, Tony was, like, you know, put some respect on Tony.
Oh.
Low key, they all had annoying moments. Maya and Darnell could not come within 2021. Like, their dynamic was toxic.
Wait, who's toxic?
Maya and
Maya and
Darnell.
Yes. Darnell was definitely bitch made. Somebody said.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this toxicity.
Can we talk about light skin Darnell versus dark skin Darnell?
Yeah,
I
Yes.
That part.
Like
That's the one-on-one. Flex Washington. That's why.
Yes.
It's one-on-one.
You
But
switch your
I liked him
rules.
better.
As Flex.
Because the other one, actually, no. The second one was a better recast for where the storyline for Darnell went.
Correct.
Because that energy, matter of fact, because I was watching it before I left the house.
Go
right?
off.
Like, it was the episode where Maya has the Christmas party in her house, and then he's like making out with the girl, and the girl buys her son a GameCube, and she's like, y'all not communicating. Like, I have certain rules. I'm trying to raise my son a certain way. And it was all this drama. And I'm just like, unhealed people. Unhealed people, left and right, even Joan, like, it's so hard to watch these shows and be like, wow, these are just a bunch of unhealed people. And I think while the show does a really good job of telling stories, it doesn't make them heal. And so as audience members, we grow up watching these shows, and when we get into these situations in our lives, we start to copy that shit instead of healing ourselves from that shit, because we dramatize it the way we've been conditioned to dramatize it.
Talk about it.
So I don't even know what she was about to say, but whatever tip, that's my tip.
I love it. Yeah.
Go to therapy.
I love that. Absolutely. And I want to continue to go around. Do we just have any type of tips for, you know, how to deal with a toxic relationship? Funny enough, we just spoke about this on Good Morning. But I want to hear from you two, like, tips on toxic relationships, how to deal with them, how to get out of them, you know?
I was in one for like 4.5 years, and it took me 3 years after that to fully get over it. So I give it up for people who are in one. Is hold on, push through, try to get the fuck out. I feel like I wish I would have knew things that I know now. Then of course, but I feel like I've also been witnessing a lot of my friends in toxic relationship, and it's been very disheartening because it's just like, you know, when you know it's their life, but it's just also just like, you deserve so much.
It's like,
and you experience it with them, like, and you see, and you're just like, open your fucking eyes. Like,
it's like you watching a scary movie.
Yeah.
Run, bitch, run!
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Bird Box.
We out here like Bird Box for real.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're a friend and you see your friend in a toxic relationship, I think, of course, be as supportive as you can with them, but I think it's also important to set your boundaries too. Like, for me, I had to realize, like, you know, I don't really want to be around both of you. Just hit me up. Like, I know y'all live together.
Yeah, it's no, at least that, like,
it's just,
even if couples be play fighting, at least be like, please, not around me.
because I just be like, the play fighting always leaves. Someone always gets upset. Like, it's just too much, and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, and again, about energy. Like, I do not deserve to be in this.
That's right.
I don't bring
That's
that
right.
to you. Like, I'm not bringing conflict and drama and all that shit, or making you uncomfortable, like,
Hello.
with my shit. So why the fuck are you doing that? Like,
I didn't ask for this.
I can't just hang out and have a drink, and y'all want to be fucking hitting each other in the
I
faces.
can see over here.
Right. What about you, Skittles?
Comments? For me, I think to go on along with what Adelie said, I think, like, because when people are in a toxic relationship, it's hard to, like, really watch it. I think it's important for, like, the people who are in the toxic relationships to, like, try and listen to the people that are around them, and it's important for the friends to, you know, in a sensitive way, be as honest as possible, because this is someone that you love and you want them to break whatever cycle that they're in. Because a lot of times that is what it is. Like, it's just a cycle. But I think, like, those two things, like, the supportive friends, to rely on the supportive friends, but the supportive friends to actually be a supportive friend.
Yeah, and if you're that friend, like, don't be too much in their relationship too. Like, you need to leave, you need to, like, no, let them do what
be
they need to
sensitive
do.
about
They
it.
gotta go through it.
Yeah, they remember that they have to go through that. Like, you cannot control whatever they, and you're gonna be upset if they go back, but you also remember that if that is really your friend, like, you know, there's boundaries, but
Absolutely. And
with love.
I just want to say super quickly, because we got comments and questions and shit.
Yeah.
Super quickly, I just want to say, you know when it feels right and you know when it doesn't.
Yeah.
If you got to take it back to grade school, make a fucking pros and cons list.
Yes.
Draw the fucking line down the middle. If you got more cons than pros, run.
Yeah.
Period. Done.
It's not
What we got out here?
yes.
For the New York Dolls, how y'all feel about New York going through the second coming, aka the gentrifiers, moving back to Iowa?
Ooh, whoa.
Moving back to Iowa or from Iowa?
Maybe from.
Back to New York.
Okay, well, I will
We
just...
switching topic? Or
Yeah,
We're still in
wait,
chips.
so as in like the gentrifiers have abandoned New York or the gentrifiers are running back to New York?
Pen. Sorry. Pen!
I'm over here
Damn,
like,
niggas was trying to be low.
like, damn.
I am just going to say that, so I did notice the huge wave of transplants that had to go back to home because of what was happening. Some of them were very close friends to me, so there's that part. But as for the gentrifiers that are coming back, you know, I'm gonna just be completely honest. I really don't pay attention to them. My neighborhood has not been touched, so
Yeah, I was
maybe,
about to say you don't live in
yeah, I think I'm privileged in the fact that like I have not seen immediate gentrification, even though it sucks when I go to my other friends' neighborhoods. Juan, your neighborhood is crazy gentrified.
Yes, yes.
You
can see the buildings shooting up, like,
Yeah.
all around.
Oh, mine's is big.
yeah, yours.
I'm right next to the hospital on 164.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been a little hard to see.
Yeah.
Watching it in the Bronx bothers me so much because it's like, you know, I grew up in the Bronx. I love the Bronx and I love being from the Bronx, but just knowing that, like, these improvements that are being made are not for us.
Right.
You know, it inspires two things out of me. It's like, I know that a goal of mine is to snatch up some of that, you know, like get to the level of success where I can take a piece of that pie because I feel like I want it. Like, I feel like this is my neighborhood and I want to claim. Like, if you're going to make it better, I want a piece of it, you know?
Yeah,
but then also I'm just like, I keep thinking like, wow, like,
it's not for us.
it's really not for us.
Right. And then you have the people who are opening their businesses, right, who are of the community but still have to take a route that involves the people who are helping push the gentrification, and then community gets conflicted and they're like, oh, well, are they really for us or should we not support them because they're still using the support of the people who are helping the gentrification? Or do you let them grow and succeed and hope that whatever wealth is generated on their end is infused back into the community because they know better, even though the gentrifying forces don't care to behave better than them. So it's such an interesting dance of how that works because if I'm Julissa and I'll open a bougie coffee shop, unless I'm front facing center, nobody's gonna know that it's owned by someone like me. So they're not gonna give it that same love, and they're still gonna choose the bodega coffee over my coffee, right? Because there's this like unity, right?
You know what I'm a fan of? There's a store that's actually doing this, and I don't know which one it is, but I am a fan of black people. Y'all got different prices. Like, we gonna have the lower prices, and all the gentrifiers and the white people, y'all gonna have the higher prices when you come into my bougie whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
You charge community members.
There's a store that's doing that. Absolutely, yeah.
That should be a thing.
Yeah.
No, not even community. If you out the community but you black, you get the lower price too. I said what the fuck I said.
Okay, yes.
Because if y'all not gonna give me my reparation black car, my 40 acres and my mule, I'm just gonna have to take the shit.
Yeah.
And that's that. Any other comments real quick or questions or anything? Yes.
Going back to relationships, we have the Tia Chronicles commenting.
Hey, Tia.
We gotta normalize love not having to be a struggle in order for it to be real.
Yes. Yes.
A word. Any comments on that?
That
A
just,
psalm.
that just always reminds me what my sister had told me, like when I would go to her, she was like, it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah.
Like, she always does remind, and I was just like, but love, you know, you gotta work through it. She was like, it shouldn't be this hard.
Yeah.
And I
And
told
sometimes you really gotta ask yourself, like, no one is really there. Like sometimes we get so caught up in like trying to keep the relationship and trying to work on the relationship that we forget that no one is worth making you feel a certain way. No one is worth making you get to a certain level of emotion or distress or whatever.
Right.
And like you gotta kind of that meme where it's like then I realized who the fuck I was. Like we gotta realize who the fuck we are and treat ourselves exactly
Right.
and get ourselves treated the way we want to
be treated.
Yeah, we're blocking our own blessings. And then I think the last piece of that is really, if you are not in the posture to receive a blessing and a change, then it cannot come. And oftentimes, when we are in the posture of worrying about
Bitch, I caught it. I caught it. Yes, yes. Yes, you know, I caught it. I caught it, bitch.
She said.
Wait, rewind. No, we have to be in the posture to receive, because sometimes when we are holding on to all the other things, we're not in this posture of receiving, we're in this posture of holding back. And so we're just letting things pass us by. It is not that our prayers are not being answered, it's that we are not receiving the answer that we're getting because we're too caught up. So, there you go.
Period. That's that on that. Yes, we got one more.
So somebody asked, what makes a relationship hard for you? And another question is, what do you seek in relationships?
What makes a relationship hard for you, and what do you seek?
What makes a relationship hard for you was the George Eras.
Yes, George! We love you, George.
And what do you seek for in a relationship? Same.
And
George.
after you finish that, the Thea Chronicles want to know, can y'all post where y'all got these spits from? Because y'all look dumb cute.
So what makes a relationship? Real quick.
What makes it difficult for you? What was the question?
What makes a relationship hard?
Hard. Yeah.
Yes. A relationship hard.
For
I feel
you.
like communication.
Yep.
If y'all not aligned, and I feel like if you guys have different outlooks on life, that makes it hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you are unwilling to make the decisions for your personal feelings in order to hold on to the relationship, because you're just slowly poisoning it when you're not addressing it.
Yep. And I'm gonna swing it back to miscommunication and no level of clarity, like zero clarity. And what was the second?
What do you seek for in a relationship?
What do you seek for, Janisa?
I seek for somebody who is willing to make the choices of their highest selves at all time and keep clear communication.
Yes, Annalise.
I seek all that, but my biggest one is someone who I don't have to look over my shoulder and feel like trust.
Trust.
Yeah.
You knew it immediately.
Trust is a big one for me.
Skittles.
I'm seeking someone who's like confident and courageous enough in themselves to be able to like publicly, show their love for me.
This is crazy. This is all coming from places within us. Mine is clarity. Y'all know I stay preaching my clarity. I just need y'all motherfuckers to be clear. Like, we could talk about shit. We could sit down and just fucking communicate, and all will be well. Period. In the hood. And then Deja, our clothes. Yeah, let's just go through real quick. Skittles.
Oh yeah, so I have fashion to figure on head to toe, fashion to figure.
I have H&M.
Come on, H&M. Fashion to figure.
I don't know, but I'm gonna guess H&M.
Come on. I love it.
And the Mary boots? And the Mary boots?
And the Mary
boots.
They might be out though, or some brand from DSW. I don't know.
No, them chicks will take on my whole leg.
Up with your ass cheek. Yes, the Mary boots.
Nah, you should try them on when the episode's done.
Let's take pictures. And mine is, I don't know, I think this is like thrift store, this is Zara, and I don't know where these boots came from, but period. All right, so we are gonna slide over to the next segment, which is Rules for Life. This is a little game, okay? So I have chosen 2 cards for our group already, all right? I'm gonna start off with this blue one. It's not a red one. I'm starting off with the adulting edition. This says, and I want to hear from y'all also.
Yeah.
This says, okay, rules for, actually, before we continue, I want everybody that's watching right now, send this to 2 of your friends, all right?
Two of
2 of your friends, because I know it's lit right now. So
Send it to 2 of your friends.
just go and send it to 2 of them, okay? And then follow the New York Dose and follow Ladies Who Brunch. Yeah. I want to know, what is your rule? I'm so curious. For one of us on the phone, I want to know, what is your rules for roommates? Actually, all of y'all are real funny. All y'all got some tea. So, where do I want to start? Let's start with Annalise. What's your rules? Based on your experiences, what are now going to be your rules for roommates?
No roommates.
None, period.
None, but I don't know. It depends on what is it. But I feel like the first one that comes to me is like the eating. Like I just like unless we're eating together, like I just don't want to hear the chewing. Like the chewing, it really grinds my ear. I mean, I usually like put on headphones, like because in my household, like when my sister brother like chew, I just put my headphones.
Yeah, you're so annoying.
It really is. I don't know what it is. It just really gets to me. And rules, it's just I guess having clear communication too. Like that's another rule. But the chewing.
That's real.
Just be cautious of like, when you're chewing.
Yeah.
Don't chew like an animal.
There it is. What about you, Jaleesa?
You gotta keep your energy right, and if your energy ain't right, then I need you to communicate that your energy isn't right, so I know how to receive you. Because then sort of to Annalise's point, then the way that you're channeling into little things is amplified to me, and I'm annoyed. I don't have patience. And I think this pandemic really, really fucked with my patience. I used to have a roommate. I no longer have a roommate. They went back to whatever state they were from. And it was one of those moments that, at first I was like, fuck, the income and having the person paying the other half. And then I was like, no, if I'm trusting that I'm about to have a real blow up very soon, fuck the roommate. No, my rule is no roommates.
Yes.
I don't think I'm somebody who can live with roommates.
That's real. You gotta know yourself.
Period.
You gotta know myself. What about you, Skittles?
Well, right now, so my roommate right now is my brother, and I think with him, my roommate, when you're living with your sibling, it's different because you have the comfort of being family. But I just always, whether it's my brother, I'm living with my brother, or whether it's someone else, I just need to know when someone's gonna be in my house.
You're one of those.
Let me know if you're gonna have someone in my house, just because I need to be in a certain mindset, I need to know that I can't walk around with my ass out, or just bring someone onto the space. Just aware. I'm not gonna try and disprove or approve or whatever.
You just want to know. I hear that. For me, we want to hear from y'all. Rules for roommates. My rule has to be all boys. I just feel like I can't live with girls. And has to be sexy boys because I kind of sometimes want to hit on you and maybe fuck you. So yeah, that's mine. Those are my anything out there?
Hello out there.
They're saying
Hello to the void. If that happens.
for roommates, the rule is don't have them. Is that an acceptable rule? Because I can't set the
Period.
Yeah, come on.
Yes.
And then another roommate rule: don't talk to me before noon.
Okay.
Yes.
That's real.
Don't talk to me until after I brush my teeth. Relax.
Yeah. Like that.
Or don't talk to me. It's okay to not talk.
Yeah, it is. It really
Yeah,
is.
it's okay to not talk some days. You don't have
Okay,
to
energy
talk
is
every day.
Yeah.
Energy is all about
And I can be in my room, too. I don't have to come out and don't make me feel like I have to come out.
Don't make me feel. All right, so I want to know, next up, we have rules for getting over your first love.
Oh, wow.
Lay it on us. Rules for getting over your first love. Man.
I think for me, the only real rule that has worked, even though it's the hardest thing to actually do for me, is to refocus the energy back onto myself and what triggered me and what that means for me, right? Rather than trying to figure out what went wrong and how could I save, rather than trying to figure out how I coulda, shoulda, woulda, it's more being like, okay, what happened here? And I responded this way, that way. Why did I really respond that way? Where was my headspace? What is this telling me about myself? What is this revealing about my wants versus my non-negotiables? And figure out what kind of motherfucker I actually want beside me, rather than being stuck next to the motherfucker that didn't fit for whatever reason. I think the phrase that has really helped me through all my heartbreaks, because, you know, I'm a little hopeless romantic, so I be having little epics with different people here and there.
Aren't we all?
Right? So for me, it's rejection is protection. Sometimes when you are really putting your best foot forward and you know with all your intention in your heart and its purity that you're doing everything with the highest good and it is still not working, then the chances are that that rejection is a form of protection, that the universe is like, you think this is what you want, but you can't see what I'm seeing, and I'm making it not work now, so you don't even have to ever see what that is. See yourself in your full truth and get somebody that fits that. So that for me is the biggest rule.
Love it.
Yeah.
I would say for me, it's having a good support system. I know that helped me a lot. Like, I had a good group of girlfriends that just helped me distract my mind from things. I feel like in the beginning, and then later on, I had to go through that phase on my own. But I feel like in the beginning, if you're going through that, like, you know, heartbreak, it's good to have a good support system. And if you don't have a support system, YouTube. Like, I was that person also that I would like YouTube, like, how to deal with heartbreak. It sounds corny, but because I like to hear other people going, it just made me feel comfort. Or like even reading articles or like you know theorems of like he didn't call me back. And then I see other people that listen and I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. You know, I think that helped me like so having a good support system. And if you don't have a physical support system, make one for yourself on the internet, you know, like find a little group or something, you know.
Love that.
Yeah, I think I agree with Annalise having a good support system and like, because a lot of times with me, like it'll spiral into like other things, and so I need people to like remind me who the fuck I am, you know?
That's very real.
And like experiencing life too, where it's just like, why am I so worried about this? And I'm out and about and I'm doing all this other things and activities with my friends. Like this, like you know, like it just makes you open your eyes a bit more.
Yeah. For me, I really have to think about this. Rules for getting over my first love, like, I don't know, I have this thing in me where it's like a switch. So I can very easily turn things on and off and someone on and off and like this, that, and the third. I could be your best friend one day and not talk to you the next. And same with romantic relationships. So, but there was my first male love when, you know, that fizzled and dissolved. I'm going to say music.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, many a night, I think maybe a week and a half straight, where's Alicia? Alicia Keys? That motherfucking Elements of Freedom album. Try to sleep with that you sleep in my bed. Yo, when I tell you, I was just curled up.
What was your? We shall say our favorite.
I feel like I have like playlists, but if I had to pick an album, actually Tony Braxton Secrets. For me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would say Tony Braxton, just be a man about it.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to leave, go right on.
Yeah, that's my shit.
The Tessie Breakup song, I love it. All right, so we're gonna move on. Nobody out there?
I mean, they're saying cry it out. Cry it out.
Cry it out.
Cry it out.
Yes, let yourself cry. Stop trying to be so tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Casey
Absolutely
said,
agree.
I played Nelly Just a Dream. Lesson learned by Alicia Keys. I second that. That's the one.
Yes.
La India, ese hombre.
Yes.
And Thea also said, what are y'all zodiac signs? Give me sun, moon, and rising.
Good. The power of three. The power of three. Let me tell you, mine is Gemini, Cancer, Cancer.
Yes.
Sun, Pisces, Moon, Aries, Rising, Sag.
Sun, Cancer, Rising, Gemini. I don't know what's my
Moon.
Yeah, I don't know what's my moon.
Girl, we gotta get you on co-star.
I know.
Yeah.
I forgot it.
Pisces, Gemini, Cancer.
Yes.
Oh,
Hollywood 3, period. I love this. Okay, we're gonna move on to the last segment of this live show, and we're gonna basically talk about the recap for the year. So I want to know, how has this year impacted your personal life skills?
This year has been fucking wild. And I think that we can all admit that this year has been fucking wild. Like, watching the entire world shut down and, like, life just cease to exist the way it was, and, like, knowing that it's a turning point and life is never going to be the normal that it was, and whatnot. All that stuff. It was just crazy to watch, but then for me, it was just like a weird juxtaposition of like this crazy like world-ending shit was happening, and I was living in fear. But then like a lot of positive things were happening with me at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I had like a great like new career opportunity where I got to voice over Debbie and sci-fi. So that's like the biggest thing that I've done, you know, career-wise, and I think that I got my team together and on point, and we've really like stepped our game up in terms of like the quality of content that we've been producing. I went viral on TikTok, like for those Rosa videos. And then, you know, Lady Suprancha has been killing it for season 4, season 5.
And you can put the branding, particularly
Yeah.
social media content, that's all skill.
Come on.
Yo, and yeah, and also my weight loss, health, exercise, hiking journey, like, the pandemic really like allowed me to just like focus in on me and be like, bitch, if you want this, what the fuck are you waiting for? Like, now there's no excuse.
Yeah.
Like, now there really is no excuse. So all there was to work on yourself. You know?
Jaleesa, what about you? How has this year impacted your life?
What's the short version? So I got laid off from WeWork in the middle of one of the biggest career opportunities, which was being on the co-founder's team, reporting directly to him around what our impact strategies were as an entire company. We were this massive company that is a huge role to have, especially for somebody who doesn't have these like, oh, Harvard accolades, and all that stuff. But by the way, during the pandemic, I sweeped up a little, Harvard.
Speaking of Harvard.
Got a certification that is Harvard Business, that was from Harvard Business School, which was huge because I think, it's a testament to how everything that's meant for you will always reach you somehow. It just might not look like what you think it's supposed to look like. Growing up as a kid, I was always a student that all the teachers thought, if I have an Ivy League student from the broken-ass Bronx school I worked for, Jaleesa was a student that I would do it. And the track that I took in life really threw people off. They thought I was going to do law, not art. So anyway, WeWork was just, work for me at first, and then I got this role, and I was like, lit, I'm going to be passionate, we're going to change the world as a company, and I'm going to help support that. Then I got laid off, and I was like, fuck, well then how do I have a new passion for really using my business talents to change and create impact? How do I do that? And, then was blessed with being on a project that allows me to just do that, and it's tied to the company I'm starting. And to say that sentence a lot is saying too much, right? I can't say more than that, but the way, for those who do have the inside scoop, the way that came about and the people who are involved in the project, if WeWork ever want to run that back and tell a story of their employee who has had the wildest story from member to the end, to being unemployed and still having a tie, my story is that motherfucking story.
Absolutely.
That's been super interesting. There's been a lot of illness in the family. We had a very big scare just 2 days ago where my little brother had a seizure, and it was one of those things where it was like, if my mother did not make a choice to go look for a shirt at that moment rather than do the other thing that was calling her attention, my little brother wouldn't be here right now, right? And so it's like having that happen literally days ago, right before the year ends, really reoriented me and reminded me that there are blessings to be received, but there is still a need to connect to home. And I think that with the pandemic and the worry of making sure nobody got sick and so many people dying around you, family became a priority, but it really smacked me in the face of being like, remember that actually your family is vulnerable to any and everything just because you've been protected from COVID and you've had so many blessings coming in during COVID doesn't mean that real life doesn't
Disappear.
Doesn't disappear when it wants to. So 2020 has taught me a lot of gratitude and the importance of, like Skittles said, making no excuses anymore. And if you're gonna make an excuse, own the fact that it's only on you that you're making that excuse.
Absolutely. What about you,
I
Anna?
mean,
So,
they said most of it. But yeah, it's been a very personal year for me too. Like, I think this is the closest I've been to self. This is the lowest I've ever been either. So that was interesting. And being like, I was dead at quarantine for like 2 months straight. Like, I didn't even go.
yeah, you was on that fire escape.
Like, I was, or like on the fire escape, but like, I think that 2 months, like, and barely going outside, like, that was crazy. Like, that felt so horrible, actually. And I was just like, this is what people in prison do. Like it kind of felt like that. Like,
Minus the window.
Yeah, minus the window, exactly. But it kind of felt a little bit, I mean,
Yeah.
that's nowhere near that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was prison for you.
Yeah, so it was just good getting back to something and being like, what do I really want out of life? You know, like, and really thinking about that and just like reminding myself, like, yo, you that's creating your own life. And I was watching a lot of YouTubers and like I was getting into that world and like creators and like creators who started like the beginning of quarantine and now and like seeing that. And a lot of them just really going for it, you know, and like moving and like going this and I'm just like, yo, like I could deadass just do this too, like, you know, and it was just like a lot of that, and now I'm just like thinking of more Annalise and like, what do you really want and who is she and all that. So it's kind of like a reinvent, like trying to see like, because I know it's a transformation, so it's like working through that transformation and seeing like creating a new life. Like I'm at that like really creating like a crazy drastic change. Like I feel like I need a drastic change. I don't know what it is, but something.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's not working.
Battery.
Jax, can you just like do the rest of it from there?
For moi, my personal life was impacted this year in many different ways. I guess for one, my grandmother died at the beginning of the year. Absolutely, yes. And right before Christmas, my grandfather went to the hospital. So those are, and then like, whatever. So those are like the personal things, right? It also impacted me this year because I feel like I got back my time. I was working 7 days a week for like the last however many years, right? It was, I was working at the youth shelter during the week, Monday through Friday, and then literally starting Friday night to Sunday morning, I was in nightlife. I was working at the club, COVID, unfortunately, shut down the club, and I feel for a lot of the like undocumented citizens that work in nightlife that did not get like these checks that some of us were getting because they're undocumented. You know what I mean? So I feel for them. But for me personally, I got my weekends back, and that was just like huge because all of a sudden, this whole other burst of energy and this whole other world opened up for me where I got to dedicate more time toward my actual creative career. And I got to sleep. I started sleeping this year, which was
like sleep.
Very different. To the point where I started missing shit because I was sleeping through shit. But nonetheless, the sleep was coming. So that's definitely me. And in business life, CDN, the indie multimedia company that Annalise and I, co-run along with Monet, we were definitely scared at the beginning because we had just moved to just moved here.
For that reason.
We had this whole roster of clients that were ready to come in. COVID happened, everyone disappeared. How was this? You know what I mean? So all of that happened, but we figured it out and we found a way and we persevered. For the New York Dose specifically, we stopped recording for 2 months. We did not know what to do.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, we just did not know what to do, and we figured it out. So this year has been a large year. Business-wise, I'm really persevering, coming out on top, figuring it out. Problem solving, doing things that did not look like how we thought it was going to look like. Right. But here we are. You know what I mean? Fucking doing
Making
it.
it work.
Yeah, I want to know what everyone's biggest high is from this year.
I would say, you know, even though I did feel like I'm not catching COVID, but I feel like I did in March. But I feel like just like my family being protected through all this health. We had one like a family friend, which she rest in peace, that she did pass older. But yeah, I think that's like a high for sure, and like just staying healthy and having a roof over my head and food, like, and still like having some sort of money coming in, like that was.
Yeah. And what's your low?
My low was definitely those dark times in my room, you know. But also it helped because I didn't stay there.
Right.
Obviously. But
Sitting up in my room. Skittles, what's your biggest high from this year and your low?
I think my biggest high has been like kind of finding a love in like wanting to like entering the year wanting to become more active, and then literally like kind of like following through with it and like going and committing to like our hiking adventures and like, you know, the hiking really helped get through like pandemic living. And then also getting into like working out in general, just kind of like showing up for myself in that way, kind of really has allowed me to like love myself in a new way that I wasn't doing before, you know. And so it has allowed me to like really be genuine and like, because I feel like what I try to put out to the internet is be confident in who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter what anybody's beauty standards are. But I wasn't actually living that before. So I feel like now.
Yes. Julissa.
Yeah, I think a high for me was the sneak peek to what happens for me when I take the posture of receiving my blessings, as opposed to just like trying to be in the whirlwind of like why and why not, and I'm doing and trying to listen to what I'm doing instead of not paying attention to maybe the one or two things I'm not doing, and understanding that those one or two things are probably the things that are making the doors that need to unlock stay locked. So getting a glimpse of that, and as well as my family and everyone being protected during this time, I was discovering that because I felt like there was so much privilege. Like I feel, excuse me, a lot of guilt. That's not a COVID cough. That's that's a smoker's cough. But like I think that like there was a lot of guilt, but then I had to realize I had to see that fruitfulness so that I understand that the power is within me. I think my low for this year was the fact that my reporting the dude who raped me was not taken all the way through. That I did the emotional labor of getting to the point where I could report a rape, do the whole 9, and then even have them close the case and call me back later and being like, you didn't get a rape kit, right? Like, just making sure. And I'm like, how y'all already closed and y'all don't have that fucking information in the, like, you know what I mean? And just seeing the messiness that was COVID and all the support systems that are supposed to be available to victims were like, wax, still waiting for a call from fucking Safe Horizon, by the way, motherfuckers, if y'all out there, like, you know.
If y'all motherfuckers are out there, period.
Like, still, like, just like all of these things and feeling like, wow, the kind of healing that goes into that level of trauma around rape really does require the person being strong themselves. You cannot rely on others. And I think having to experience that was a low. But I definitely learned something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through the 3 of you.
Yeah.
For moi, my high for this year was definitely, or is definitely, stepping into who the fuck I am.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I have not minced my tongue for anyone or anything this year. I have just lived worry-free like I am. I have not bent my will towards society's standards at all this year. I do what the fuck I want, when the fuck I want. I say what the fuck I say, to who the fuck I gotta say it to, when the fuck I gotta say it, and I just feel so free. For a couple of New Year's, my resolution used to always be, my resolution used to always be, I just want to have no filter like a zillion things. Like that was always my New Year's resolution. I was like, I want no filter. I want no filter. I want no filter. And I feel like I am here. Like literally, no matter who you are, literally, if you're my mother, to my employer, to my employer, I'm telling you what the fuck I'm feeling, I'm thinking, and it's about me at the end of the day. This is my story. I'm the main character, and that's just that. So that's my high, and my low is definitely grandma dying because it's different because I lived with her. So when she left, literally that energy left. You know what I mean? And it's weird. It's weird in the house, and my house was still getting over my aunt dying. You know, so like just grandma kind of coming out of nowhere. It's just so much. It's just so different. You know, it's just so different. And I examined. I had a moment the other day when I was examining the way that my Christmases used to look, and it used to be like all of us in the living room and like blah blah blah, right? So like this year it was literally just me and my mother because grandma's gone, aunt's gone, grandfather just went to the hospital because of COVID. My aunt and her kids were just upstairs like by themselves, so it was just very like this is life. Like we're getting old, they're getting old, shit is happening. Is the house in my name? You know, I'm just all these different thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like just all these things. Says life is life. And on that note, I want to know what is one hope that you have for moving into 2021, Skittles?
I want to continue to be in the good space mentally and like just like continue on that path of like really just like making decisions that are like gonna be making me truly happy, work on myself, produce content that I love, and like, you know, chase after these dreams the way we've been. We out here, you know?
Absolutely. Annalise?
Yes. My first hope is I hope this COVID shit just disappears somehow. And I really hope God just comes through and does a little 1-2 on
Yeah, come on, 1-2.
and just that shit go away because I feel like it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
And two, just to keep following my dreams and stepping into who I am and what I want and really deciding on that clarity.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think for me, I have a hybrid. So both, I hope to remain focused on everything because if I don't, then everything I'm setting myself up to receive will not follow through. But I think the second thing is I hope that others actually practice the lessons that 2020 has drilled over their heads over and over. Even right now, like in my moment of celebration with the being in the New York Times for the MTA Radio Play project that Skittles is also on, other people's lack of healing and lack of capability of showing up for themselves has them like writing posts and doing all these ugly things online in a way that's kind of like, oh, I don't even want to come in a petty way. I just see the lack of healing in this entire thread from the people involved to the people in the comments. I'm like, we are so unhealed. We can't have what is just a simple ego conversation that needs to happen. And I'm tired of the labor of that. I'm tired of the labor of trying to get people to grow the fuck up and wake up and start taking care of themselves. Yep. Because that's really what we have to do. And it's a hard thing. And honestly, until you're ready to do it, it's hard for you to accept that it needs to be done. But like allow what this year has taught you to get yourself aligned with your vision of what it is you're really doing for yourself and what you're not doing for yourself. Because even in the case of this thing, I'm like, if you just want to focus on your work and let the work speak for itself and let you be the one getting your accolades, because at the end of the day, your words are still in your mouth and on your pages. And what you're feeling is energy and negativity towards somebody being in the New York Times because you think they took your words, but your words were not taken, my love. Your words are in your mouth. Put them on the page and produce your shit and move on. So that is where I'm at. Yeah, that's my hope.
I hear that. And my hope for moving into 2021 is that I continue to reposition the people in my life that need to be repositioned. Because I feel that I'm at this place of like, I feel like I'm at this place right now where everybody is almost where they need to be on my bus. You know what I mean? For my story, everybody's almost where they need to be, but like there's a few little passengers that I thought needed to be in the front, but they really just got to be in the back and chill for the ride. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. That's fine. But I'm in a period of repositioning, and my hope.
Come on, Liza.
Okay, I'm telling you, I see it. I'm in this place of repositioning, and I just hope that I continue to get everyone to where they need to be, so that my spirit just drives flawlessly. Because having people in the wrong seats will seriously bring out that other Gemini, and I just can't deal with him because he's a fucking monster, and I don't want to be that person. Yeah, and that's that on that. If there's no last comments, we're done. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending your holiday Sunday with us. We're gonna do some last closing outs, but you can find me at DJSJ614 on Instagram and Twitter, and on at the New York Dose. You can find me. What about you?
Well, Skittles, where can they find us?
Yes, you can find us at Ladies Who Bruncher on Twitter, Ladies Who Bruncher on Instagram, Ladies Who Bruncher on Twitter. You can find me at The Real Skittles with a Z at the end on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all that. Stream Santa Drink All My Honey.
That's my new holiday
Santa Drink All My
All your favorites.
And the dark ass Black Boy Christmas.
All Holy Night.
Holy Night.
614 featuring Switch.
Period.
And you can follow Julissa at Julissa.
Yes.
Spelled exactly that way.
Right, absolutely.
Yes, and you can find me at Adaloso09 on Instagram, at Adaloso on Twitter, and follow the New York Dose, and make sure you go on YouTube and subscribe to the New York Dose.
Yes.
We got some shit coming, so stay on it.
And follow all of us on Clubhouse as well. We are all on Clubhouse. We love hosting rooms and talking shit, and we host good rooms. We don't, it's not boring, so definitely pop in.
Period. Thank you to everybody out there. Thank you to all our lovely crew. And yeah, that's that on that.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The overarms.
That's the,
You got a good New Year.
that's Oprah.